Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is Iowa Live.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Well, yes, it is a new edition of the Iowa History Journal. It has hit the stands and hit the mailboxes. So that means it's time for Michael Swanger to come in and pay us a visit, the publisher and editor of the magazine. Great to see you, sir.
Good morning, Lou. Always a pleasure.
All right, now we need to talk about some pretty famous people that are inside this magazine this month.
We do. When you think about popular musicians who were born in this state, I don't think there is one who had more of an impact on the music industry than Glenn Miller.
Okay, now let's
born in Clarinda.
Give some stats here. Born in Clarinda. Now give some stats here about Mr. Miller here and his number ones and some things that some people don't realize.
No, I don't think anyone realized that he had more number one songs, 16 of them, and more top 10 hits, 69 of them, than either Elvis or the Beatles.
Seriously?
Yeah, and he did that in a 3-year span from 1939 to 1942 when he was considered America's number one band leader.
Wow.
Incredible career.
And it all started here in Iowa.
It did. He moved on later into Colorado, where he went to high school. He played football, actually, speaking of football, and went to college, but then he quit and started playing in territory bands and started recording in the 20s with other bands. By 1937, he founded the Glenn Miller Orchestra, the famous Glenn Miller Orchestra. And his popularity just soared. It was meteoric overnight.
Wow.
He had a radio show on CBS 3 days a week, and the whole nation was tuned in. And he was arguably the most popular figure in music during that period.
Oh, that is so cool. And the first song that really put him on the map?
Moonlight Serenade.
Okay.
The anthems of that generation, of the big band generation, and In the Mood.
Yes.
And of course, Chattanooga Choo Choo was the first gold record ever in the history of recorded music. Yeah. Glenn Miller had the first gold record. There's a good shot of him with the USO. He obviously had a tremendous career in the military as well, leading a band, but his civilian band is what the first part of our two-part series written by Dennis Sprague is all about, and there's really no one better to write about it. He curates the collection of Glenn Miller archives at the University of Colorado in Boulder and is the historian at the Glenn Miller Birthplace Society in Clarinda.
Oh my goodness. So you said first in a series, right?
Yeah, it is. The next time we come out with our November-December issue, it will be about his military service and his mysterious disappearance and death in 1944.
Oh, okay. Well, you mentioned a little bit about football. We just said Andre Allen here.
Yes,
rock star when it comes to rock star when it comes to football in the state of Iowa.
Absolutely.
For University of Northern Iowa, of course. But Iowa State in the news for the dramatic comeback win over the weekend, and a very legendary coach. And Andre just hung out with some of his players this past week.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
You could argue that the success that Matt Campbell and the team they've had in recent years, including just this weekend at their big win in Iowa City, that the building blocks were established by Johnny Majors, who was the head coach at ISU from 1968 to 1972. And in the modern era, he really laid the foundation for all the success that Cyclone football has enjoyed over the years.
Wow, and there's an article in here.
It's a great story written by a senior at Iowa State who's majoring in journalism. His name is Payne Blazevich. He's a tremendous young reporter, journalist. He also writes for Cyclone's 247 Alert, and he has a very promising future ahead of him. It's not very often we have someone that young contribute to the magazine, but he did a knockout job telling the story about Johnny Majors.
Oh, that is so cool. So if you are a Cyclone fan, you obviously need to get a copy of the magazine. And then you have a column in there too, which you do every single issue.
We do, and I just wanted to recap and congratulate all the winners of this year's Excellence in Iowa History Awards that are given out annually by the State Historical Society of Iowa's Board of Trustees. We had a couple of writers get recognized, winning the Mills Noun category, Don Doxey from Davenport and Timothy Walsh from Iowa City. Both of them, their series that they wrote for us last year about the POWs in Iowa and Grenville Dodge were recognized in the award ceremony. So I was really happy for them. And of course, I'm really happy for our readers because it's a nice verification of the kind of work that we're doing and the quality work and the writing and the research that's taking place at IHJ.
Yeah, and those are just some of the things that are inside this magazine. That is, again, it is the September-October edition of the magazine. And if we can there's something else here I just want to mention briefly. We only have a few seconds left because there's a famous Iowan. Do you guys recognize this picture at all? That lady look familiar at all?
Yeah, Nidra Voles, who was a star of television late in her career. She did all those Norman Lear shows, All in the Family, Different Strokes, Maude.
Yep, it was even on Dukes of Hazzard, article about her as well. People want more information about Iowa History Journal?
IowaHistoryJournal.com. You can pick up our back issues that are on sale now through the end of October.
All right, Michael Swanger, thank you so
Always
much.
a pleasure. Thank you,
you
Lou.
so much. Thank you for spending time with us. We'll see you tomorrow.